Radheshyamdasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurvanmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. So you all have studied long before about the differences between the human life and animal life, isn't it? So the similarities you all know very well: eating, sleeping, mating, depending the similarity. Now, what makes a human being different? The scriptures say a human being is like an aeroplane. Animals are like a car or a scooter. They'll keep, if you put both of them in a runway, animal will keep on going like this. Human being can take off. He can fly, which means he can become from animal mentality, he can come to human mentality. From human mentality, he can go to divine mentality. So, now you all are growing devotees, so you can easily understand what I'm going to say. From animal to human, how we become? By following 4 relative principles. Correct? But no illicit sex, no unnecessary killing of animals, isn't it? And no form of intoxication and no gambling. If you do these 2 things, you go from animalistic tendencies to human behavior. It's actually moral behavior. If you do these 4 things. And if you chant Hare Krishna, you go from human to divine. And you're doing both. So you're going from here to here. Correct now? Going from animal to human to divine. So, I will tell you some observations which you can make yourself when you are looking at the world around you. Like if you see the pig, it eats the dirtiest thing like a stool in the ditch. It lives in a ditch. Living conditions are very bad. Eating food which is nasty. That which you plug your nose and run away, and that's what it chases after. Correct now? Impure food. And also, Prabhupada says that the pig doesn't discriminate between who is mother, who is sister, or who is daughter. He indulges in sex with anybody. He has no discrimination at all. On the other hand, in human society, you will see you have a respect for your mother, for your sister, for your daughter. You have some divine type of relationship we have. So, we will never consider doing such a thing with such a blood relative, like a mother or a sister or a daughter, what the pig is doing. And you will never consider eating such a nasty thing like a stool or something. Is it not true? You run away from it. You will see that. So, in this way, you will see that animals don't have that kind of discrimination when it comes to enjoying. And they go by the instinctive, instinctive pushings of the senses. So, the 2 words, instinct is one thing, and look before you leap is another thing. So, who is instinctive? Animals. They go by instinct. Instinct means they get a little push from inside the mind, they just go and enjoy. That's all. And human being means, yes, he also gets a push. But he can say, let me think, is it good for me or bad for me? Is it moral or immoral? I should do it or not do it. He thinks like that. For example, Yudhishthira Maharaj looked at Kauravas and said, hey, these brothers, they are actually supposed to give the whole kingdom of the world back to us. Not only they are not giving the kingdom, they are very poised to fight a battle. So he thought, what can be done? So he told Krishna that in case they don't want to give, at least let them give half the kingdom. Let them keep the other half. Let us share and enjoy. And he also told, if they don't agree even for that, at least let them give 5 villages. Because we are Kshatriyas, we can't live without ruling. If you're a student, you can't live without studying, correct? No? If you're a Kshatriya, you have to rule. Something we have to rule, at least one village for one Pandava, correct? No? So, you can see how Yudhishthira was so reasonable, correct? No? And so moral also. But then, he came to know from Krishna that, Kauravas are not ready to give even a tip of a needle back. That means they were more or less inclined to war, thinking that, we have been ruling party for last 12 years, plus one more year, 13 years. So he thought that now that Pandavas will be without support and we will be with great, support, and being the ruling party, we can easily win over them. That was their idea. Correct, no? So his thought was, Duryodhana's thought was, let me wipe out the Pandavas and live in this world without any Pandavas. So this is animal mental. Animal means, you die and I live. It's called as, Jivo Jivasa Jivanam. You will see that in animals. Like, for example, a small snake is eaten by a bigger snake. The bigger snake is eaten by even more bigger snake. Same with fishes also. Small fish eaten by bigger fish. Have you ever seen a small baby is eaten by one human being and he's eaten by a bigger human being? Have you ever heard that? Animals do that. You will see that. You must have seen sometimes the dog lays 1 dozen puppies at a time. Then one more time in the same year, the dog can lay 1 more dozen puppies. So in a year it can produce 2 dozen puppies. But some of the puppies it eats also, you know that? And it becomes very hungry. It just swallows. Actually, just because you are hungry, can you eat your own baby? Animals can do such a thing, but will human being do that? He won't do that. Here you find Duryodhana want to eat his own brother. He want to swallow his own brother. He want to see them wiped out and he want to enjoy. That means there is no morality. On the other hand, Duryodhana told his people, let us live in this world, freed of the Pandavas. Then we will have unrivaled kingdom. That's what he told his brothers. You all cooperate with me and I will get this position of a king and you all can enjoy with me. He was telling them. And Yudhishthira Maharaj was telling his brothers, we are fighting like dogs for a piece of flesh. I don't want this battle at all. I would rather even go back to the jungle. And same thing Arjuna also said. You know that, correct? No? So you can see that their behavior is very divine behavior. Pandava's behavior, you can see that. So they are, one is a moral consideration. Morality means what? What is right, what is wrong. Correct? No? Morally, who is supposed to own the kingdom? Pandavas. And Duryodhana is immoral. That means morality can take lead and destroy the immorality. Correct? No? That is called morality. What is ethical? You know the difference between morality and ethical. What is ethical? Ethics, who knows the difference? Now, Duryodhana is not moral. So you are moral. So you can destroy him. That is called morality. But ethical means what? Yes, it is true. We can destroy them and we can take over our own kingdom which they have snatched from us. From morality point of view, it is correct. But ethical means what? But they happen to be whom? Brothers. They happen to be our own cousins. So sometimes if your own brother or sister sometimes is unreasonable, you may forgive them. Correct, no? It happens or not, even at home sometimes. So ethical consideration means on our side we have blood relatives. On the other side also we have blood relatives. Now if you are adamant about the war, so much bloodshed will happen. So I have two choices. Either compromise on my kingdom by going to forest and avoid the bloodshed. Or on the basis of morality, cause the bloodshed and, take over the kingdom and I don't care who dies, who lives. Correct, no? So that is called ethical. So ethical consideration is more subtler and more difficult than morality also. Because, see, morality is very simple. Right, wrong, that's all. That's morality. Ethical means there are two right things. Out of the two right things, which is more right? That's more difficult, correct? No? So, they were thinking that from a dharma point of view, we have to establish dharma. Therefore, we have to fight the battle. This is dharma yuddha, correct? No? We have to establish. And that Lord Krishna is telling. So, you have to do that. On the other hand, the lower dharma is not to kill the brothers and forgive them and go to forest again. That's also a dharma. That is like, what type of ethics is that? That ethics is like forgiving an unreasonable person. Forgiving somebody who is unreasonable. So you may not forgive anybody else if they are not your brother, but you forgive because they happen to be your brother. In India, one family, brother and sister, had a quarrel. Not they were small children, they were grown up actually. So the sister saw that the elder brother is not sharing the property properly with the younger brothers and her. So she warned him, hey, if you don't share the property properly, we will take you to court. And the elder brother laughed and he thought, due to the blood relationship, they will not do it. And I can take undue advantage of the blood relation and exploit them. He thought like that. So he went ahead doing malpractice of exploiting. So she put a court case and he was behind the bars. So then he became very wild. How can a sister put a court case on the brother? She said, you are not a brother. You are not a rakshak, you are a bakshak. You are exploiting us. Therefore, I had to do that. In human society also such things happen. Because actually she was right and brother was wrong. From a moral point of view, who was right? Sister was right. From ethical point of view, who felt it is wrong? The elder brother felt it is wrong. So Pandavas were right from moral point of view also. And from ethical point of view also, they were actually broad-hearted not to fight. But ultimately, from a spiritual point of view, they fought. Because Krishna told them that you may not like to fight, but I want you to fight because this dharma should be established. Therefore, they did that. See, human being can think these kind of things. An animal think like this. Animals just go by instinct. Some pushing is coming from inside, just enjoy. Now, again, one important point. If you don't follow the Vedic literature, you are also going to compromise on ethical and moral and come down to the animal platform. For example, one time when Ravana was walking by the side of the mountains in Himalayan range, he was returning back to one palace. So on the way, he saw one Punjikastali, who was actually Apsara, very beautiful Apsara. She was coming on the opposite side. He was alone, she was alone. Then immediately, getting sight of her, he became very allured by her beauty. And it was a season which was very pleasant season, like spring season. So he wanted to go to her and enjoy her. And she told him, wait a minute, do you know who you are? I am actually wife of Nalakuvar. And Nalakuvar is whose son? Anybody knows? Kuvera's son. And Kuvera is who for Ravana? Brother. Yeah, they are brother. That means you are my husband's father's brother. What do you call? Chachaji you call? You are like a Chachaji, correct? Father-in-law, correct. Achha, sorry. Chachaji means your father's brother, but you are not father, you are my son. Yeah. You are my father-in-law's brother. So you are also like father-in-law for me. Correct? No? Father-in-law's brother is also like another father-in-law. Correct? No? It's a fatherly relationship. So she told him that. Please remember that a father cannot exploit a daughter. Don't come near me. But he was instinctively pushed. He went to her, captured her, put her on took her to a cave and rock and exploited her body, raped her. And she cried and cried and cried. She fell unconscious and everything. And when Ravana did this from a long distance, Nalakuvar saw that. So he wanted to defend her, but by the time he came, already the blunder happened with Ravana. So Nalakuvar at that time, he tore his sacred thread and cursed him. You lusty rogue. He said, you scoundrel. You have no shame. Although you are so elderly in age, you have no respect for the dharma. Therefore, if you ever do balatkar to any woman, he said, on the very spot, your head will crack into 1,000 pieces. Like that he cursed him. And this is the reason why Ravana did not do balatkar to Sita later. Correct now? He caught her and took her to Lanka, but he had no guts to, try to molest her because he knew what will happen. Against the interest of a woman, if you do this, your head will split yourself. That kind of curse came upon him. Why it came? Can you guess? Why it came? Because he behaved like an animal. Correct now? He behaved like an animal. He didn't behave like a human being. Here is immoral behavior. And Duryodhana is also showing unethical behavior. Now, unethical behavior is shown by not only Duryodhana, many. Like, for example, Dhritarashtra is calling Bhima, oh, my dear son Bhima, come here, I want to embrace you. Do you think you want to embrace him? What is his intention? You want to crush Bhima. You want to kill Bhima. Krishna was the one who was intelligent. He told Bhima, hey, don't go just because your uncle is calling. He is not in a good mood. He's in a killing mood now. So then he told him to push some statue. And the statue was crushed to pieces. You can imagine it was a metallic statue. Even that he could crush, break it into pieces. It collapsed and crumbled. That much strength, Dhritarashtra had. That goes to show that he used the sentiment of a relative for killing the relative. You know, this Shivaji and Afzal Khan also happened, similar thing. Correct, no? Yeah. And he was telling that you come here, I want to embrace you, but the intention was not to embrace. Correct, no? Intention was that I will take one knife and kill from behind. But before that knife was used for stabbing, Shivaji also had gone with tiger claws. Correct, no? He finished him inside. So, of course, they were not blood relatives, but in the case of Dhritarashtra, you know, he's supposed to be like a fatherly, but is it dealing like a father? No. Which goes to show that one thing, you can come down and ethically, you may not follow the ethical standard and come to animal platform. Similarly, morally, you can come to animal platform. That means it doesn't immediately certify that you are a human being, you are going to be moral, you are going to be ethical, you are going to be spiritual. No. You can be moral, you can be ethical, you can be spiritual, you have the potential. You understand what is the meaning of having a potential? What is the meaning of having a potential? Ability. It's like a dormant ability. It's a dormant ability. So every one of you, you have a dormant ability to behave spiritually. And that is in a supta stage. It's like hidden stage. Like Prabhupada gives 3-4 very good examples I read in Nectar of Devotion book. One example he says, like a child who is born has very tender feet. It cannot stand and all. It just lies. What do you call it? It crawls. Initially cannot crawl also. It is just lying like this and moving the hands and legs. You have seen that child? After, I think, about 3 months or so, they slowly turn around. And then they start swimming on the floor. Correct, no? And after how much time he gets up? Generally? 1.5 years. 9 months, I think. 9 months to 1 year period. Then slowly he gets up. Correct, no? And then he starts catching the wall, and he falls. And then maybe mother or father will give the finger, catch the finger. He walks a little bit with like that, he walks and he falls down. Correct, no? Again, mother lifts up the child. So you have seen that. But the innate ability of the child to walk, everybody knows. Correct, no? Now you all are grown up now. Nobody has to guide you to walk now. Correct, no? You can walk on your own. That means this ability was there in you or not? It was there in you. At that time, was it manifest or not? That time not manifest. That's called dormant. Dormant means innate potential to do something which is in a dormant state which will eventually manifest. That's called dormant, you call it. So, now Prabhupada gives another example, like a magnet attracting the iron filings. Like a magnet may be nice, powerful, but the iron filings may be covered with mud or something. Then it doesn't attract. Sometimes you even take a magnet and touch the iron filings also, or even touch the nails. It doesn't attract at all because it's covered with mud. You remove the mud, then it catches immediately. You will see that. Or new nails you bring from the market, put it like that, it goes and catches. You will see that. Similarly, Krishna is compared to the magnet, and jivas are compared to as iron nails. So as soon as you bring jivas, immediately they feel attraction. But that attraction principle is based on how much you are not covered over. If you are too much covered over with lust, anger, greed and all that, or purva janma, papa karmas and all, then we don't feel attraction. Why some boys feel attraction and some don't feel attraction? Rahul is feeling attraction from Kerala to come here. All the way. Isn't it? Such a long distance, he has traveled by train. And there are boys who are in next lane, you call them, they won't come. They will kuch bahana batange. Some excuse they will give and they won't come. Correct, no? Like I had one very close friend in IIT. I would go to call him for the program. And he had little hesitation to tell me that he doesn't want to come. He thought, how can I tell my friend I won't come? So he will tell me, you please go ahead, I'm coming, he will say. But he won't come. Then I told him, no, I'm going to sit now. Unless you come, I'm not going to go. So once or twice I took him like that. Then the next time I went to call him for the program, he locked the room and went away. When I would call the phone, he would cut the phone. He won't take up. What is the meaning of that? Not interested, correct, no? So you can see, you can take a horse to water. Can you make it drink? And who has to drink water? Horse has to drink. You may tell him, Hare, you have to go another 20 kilometers in a distance. Why don't you drink now? He doesn't listen to you. Some people are like that. They don't understand the importance. Because they're very covered over, like the mud over the iron nails, I told you. So Prabhupada gives the example of magnet and iron nails. One more example he gives, like a red hot coal covered with ashes. You've seen that? Like that you do. Then the coal will be hot. Because in villages, they keep the stove red hot. They don't put it off. What they do? They put some ashes and keep it for the evening. Again, when they want to cook, like that they do, then they start cooking again. So after that, ashes form. So somebody who doesn't know that there is a hot coal inside, when I was a young boy, mother had kept the hot coal. I didn't know that. I thought I will help my mother by lighting up the coal. I put my finger to move like this, remove the ashes, and immediately it was burning. Similarly, you will see that the Krishna consciousness is just beneath the ash-like impurities. If you little bit cleanse the impurities, it will start manifesting. Like you all are chanting Hare Krishna now, following the 4 regs, hearing the classes, and rising in the morning, chanting, dancing, taking prasad. It's a very clean life it is. Pure life it is. You start this pure life, within a few months itself, you will feel, my Lord, this is a very heavenly life. It's such a beautiful, you will wonder that we can live such a life even on earth also. Correct, no? Imagine, is it not true? Imagine you lived in the hostel before. Because I have also lived in the hostel, I have seen. Boys don't remove the shoes at all, they sleep with the shoes. Isn't it? And the room, every room you go, there is a big picture of some heroine they would have put on the wall. Correct. Some of them semi-nude and all that they will put. Correct, no? And see their jeans and pants and shirts all hanging, nasty smelling. And they will never wash it for 2 weeks until all the clothes are exhausted. Then only they will wash. Correct, no? You can see that Tamakuna is in its greatest height. You will find the hostel room is very sandy. They don't sweep the room. They don't throw water and clean the room. Books are all scattered. Papers are scattered. You go to the room, your head will be spinning when you see that. Correct, no? These are small things I'm telling you. More worse things, when you go to the hostel and climb up the staircase, you see some cigarette pieces here and there. And then when the examination results comes, there will be drinking, parties. Whether they pass also, they will drink. Correct, no? They fail also, they will drink. Correct, no? So, therefore, you find, if you have lived in the hostel before, and then you come and live here, how many of you found a radical difference? Correct? Is it not true? So, some boys find this very clean life also a little difficult. They say that, Prabhuji, this is too pure. Too much for us. Like one boy said, these guys don't hear rock music. They don't watch break dance. Thought about at least little bit we need. They say like that. Actually, it's not true. You don't need little bit of impurity. You can be ultra pure and be very happy. But why we need that little impurity? Because we are used to that type of lifestyle. And from that lifestyle, if we come, like a dog's tail, you say, no? Dog's tail, if you put in a pipe for 10 years, again you open it, it'll go back. Correct? No? That tendency is that, to go back like that. But that tendency can be overcome. Like there is a very nice question, whether people can change or not change. I always had the question. Is it like a dog's tail, people can never change? So Chanakya says people cannot change. Sanatana Goswami says people can change. How is it? I was wondering why 2 great learned scholars are saying the opposite. Then I could reconcile both in one way. How? Chanakya says, if you throw water on the back, the buttocks will keep on passing stool. Like that he says. How much water you throw, it will keep on doing the same thing, he says. Similarly, dog's tail cannot be straightened up. These are the examples he gives. So you cannot change a person. A person's nature cannot be changed. So it's a very nasty example, but it's a very fit example also. So you can't change a person, like that he says. Now Sanatana Goswami says, yes, it is true. You cannot change a person by any material means, but by spiritual means you can change a person. Materially you cannot change. So what is the spiritual means? That's a chanting of the holy name. So he gives an example of alchemy, he says. Alchemy means it's like liquid, in which you put iron piece. Next day morning you take it out and see it turns into gold. You know that one Rasayan? They have one Rasayan in which you put the liquid. You put the soft iron core. There is a Rasayan, what do you call that in Sanskrit? There's a name for that. Called alchemy solution, they call it. So there are 16 or 18 sutras given in the Vedas. If you prepare that chemical solution, if you put any iron piece in that, it turns it into gold. So he says the same thing. A holy name is like the Rasayan, he says. You put a person inside, he becomes like a golden person. When he comes out, completely transformed. He's no more having iron-like quality. So lust is compared to iron and gold is compared to love. So the lust transforms into love when you chant the holy name. Or a selfish person becomes a selfless person. Arrogant person becomes a humble person. A greedy person becomes a satisfied person. Angry person becomes a peaceful person. Peaceful and calm, cool, collected. It becomes like that. So, in this way, you can see that the kind of transformation. If you say that, is it really true? You don't even have to ask the question. You can see it with your eyes, what Prabhupada did in the West. How he made the hippies into such noble, better than Brahmanas also. He made that. This is recent, 50 years ago. 500 years ago, Lord Chaitanya delivered Jagai Madai, correct, no? And 5,000 years ago, and you will find also when Lord Krishna had personally appeared, he could transform the nature of Kaliya by dancing on him, correct, no? How Kaliya was very venomous and envious, and he gave up the envy completely. And he sent him back to God. It's same with Putana also, isn't it? And even many thousands of years ago, Narada delivered one Mrigari, correct? Or Valmiki, somebody like that. So, I'm just giving you transformation stories, transformation examples. So, the world has seen transformational, situations in lives of people. So, you can go from animal to human and human to divine. Now, the question is, why should you bring about such a transformation when you have a human body? That's the question. And like our Shankara says that 3 things are very rare, he says. Manushyattvam, Mumukshutvam, and attaining a guru, a proper guru. So 3 things he says. To get Manushya body, you all already have it. And Mumukshutvam means a strong, earnest desire to get liberated from this world. That's the second thing he says. And the third thing he says, to get a guru who can actually escort you to return back to the spiritual plane. Go back. Because we cannot find out ourselves. We need somebody to guide us. Like imagine if you're blindfolded, you don't know where the door is. But somebody catches you by the hand and takes you to the door and leaves you, then you know how to get out of this place. Correct, no? Similar to get out of this world, we need somebody to guide us. So now the question I asked you is, why should we think about all these things? Why can't just live like animals? What is the reason for us to go from animal to human to divine? What do you think is the reason for that? Why should we do that? Anybody? Yeah, you can give the mic to them. Yes. Anybody wants to answer? Why should you want to bring about a transformation of heart, bring about a change? Why not just live the way, whatever your mind says? Yes. Anybody? You raise the hand, mic will come to you. Yeah, behind. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Yogi, from the 8.4 million species of life, through so many life, we are doing the same thing. But in this human form of life, only we can help ourselves to transcend ourselves into spirituality and go back to God.
Okay, so the question is why? Why should we do that in that human form of life?
Yeah, we have went through so many lives in our previous past lives, yes. And in the past lives we have done the same thing.
Yes.
Eating meat.
Yeah, somebody says that I would like to fly like a butterfly, swim like a fish, walk like a frog. And people say like that. It's like evolution. So what's wrong in going from one body to another? Is it not nice variety and good fun? Is it not? Is it? Yeah. He's saying because it is our dharma, he says. So if you go to a hostel and tell the boy, it is your dharma, therefore you should try to go back. Do you think many boys will agree? Then what would you tell them? Yes. Yeah. He's saying to become more happy, he says. That's our natural situation, to be more happy, okay? To get peace, he's saying. That means right now, when we are living a life like this, we are not peaceful. Correct, now? Yeah, why we are not peaceful in this world? And the world. What are things that make you lose your peace? Because of which you want to take to Krishna consciousness and then become peaceful. Yeah. Yes.
When we follow Krishna,
yeah.
Krishna consciousness.
When you follow Krishna, you get peace. But when you are not following Krishna consciousness, what's wrong with our life? There are many people saying that my life is all right going on. Correct, no? So they don't feel sufficient reason for them to take to Krishna consciousness. They say that that's your interest, this is my interest. I have no interest in that, so I just want to lead a normal, quote-unquote, normal life. And you live whatever way of life you want, they say like that. How would you make such a so-called normal person take to Krishna consciousness, what reason, strong reason do you feel you have to tell them? And what are the sufferings? Death, old age, birth and disease. That's very good, yeah. You see, there is a fallen position, there is a liberated position. Now, there are two words in Sanskrit, Achyutam and Chuta. Two words are there. Achyutam Keshavam Ramanarayanam. You heard that? So, Achyuta means what? One who is not fallen. So, Krishna and the liberated jivas, they are not fallen. Both are Achyuta. But Krishna is the infinite Achyuta and the jiva is finite. Is servant. And both can be in a non-fallen position, in a spiritual position. In that position, both are happy. In the exchange of love between one another, they are both happy. But fallen position means what? Just like, for example, somebody doesn't follow the state laws. Say somebody has stolen somebody, or somebody has killed somebody. Immediately this hand will be handcuffed. You've seen that police will put this. They'll take him to the police station. So now he has to follow the criminal laws now in the police station. So those who are not in police station, they follow state laws. Those who fall from the state laws, they follow criminal laws. Which laws are better? State laws are better or criminal laws are better? In which one freedom is more? State laws, correct, no? Now you are all free citizens in India. Correct, no? You can walk in the street, you can purchase whatever you want with your money, not with somebody else's money. With your own money. You can have your own house. You can have a wife if somebody wants to marry. You are living a life in accordance with state laws. Then your life is little more freedom is there, correct, no? On the other hand, when you go into the jail, then you have to eat the food that they give you, whether you like or not. And you can't bring your wife, children and stay with them comfortably. You have to live alone also. Even if you don't like, you have to break the stones there. Correct, no? Inside the jail. It's a very painful thing. They may put you in a dark room. There may not be lighting. There may not be fan. It may be very hot. And it may be congested in a room like this. They may put 40 people. You may not like to live, but you'll be forced to live there. Correct, no? It's a very painful situation it is. So, therefore, there are two positions, fallen position and non-fallen position. Right now in this material world, all jivas are in which position? Fallen position. So, what is the handcuff? This body itself is handcuffed. You got this material body. So, material body, as you rightly said, is there anybody here who want to be old here? Tell me. You like to be old, man? Many tooth are gone. One out, two out, all out. Like that, anybody want to be like that? Or anybody here want to have a stick with the bent hunchback like this? You want to walk on the road? You want to walk straight or you want to walk like this? Yeah. But you have seen very old people walking hunchback. Correct, no? Also their hair is gone, teeth are gone, eyes are not able to see properly, ears are not able to hear properly. As they get older and older, a lot of wrinkles come in the body. You have seen that? Correct, no? So is there anybody in the world will say, I like old age? No. But old age is forced upon the jiva in this world. You can see that. No? Similarly, you find the diseases also. Nobody wants diseases. Nobody wants old age. Nobody wants death also. Of course, Prabhupada said one Calcutta businessman told doctor that, doctor, if you can keep me for 4 more years, I will, I can give you 4 lakh rupees immediately in the hand. Doctor said, I can't make you survive more than 4 hours now. He said, what about 4 more years now? Your body is finished. So even if you give money also, you cannot get extension of your life. You have to go to 640, you have to go. Yeah, right. So you will see that the first step in religion is to recognize the suffering and to ask the question, why am I suffering and how I can get out of this suffering? That means you are a human being, if you can ask this question. Like for example, say I am sitting behind you and I am pricking you with a pin. What will you do? You will ask me, what happened with you and why are you pricking me? Why don't you sit peacefully? Correct, no? Correct, no? Now you see if a mosquito is coming and sitting behind you, correct, no? I've seen mosquito comes and sits and then it sings a song. Puts its needle and sucks blood. It's exploiter, correct, no? It exploits you by sucking blood. But by the time your hand reaches, you beat it at it's already gone. It'll alight here, suck the blood and you'll be gone. So now mosquito exploits you by sucking blood. And you exploit the mosquito by beating and killing. Or nowadays people have electric bat. Like that they roasted. Have seen that? So who is exploiting whom? Both are exploiting one another. Therefore, in the material world, nobody can be peaceful. Because everybody is exploiting everybody else. Like you join a company, do you think your boss will say that you do the work of, monthly do the work of 50,000? And they'll give you the entire 50,000 to you. Will he give? He needs some profit. Do you think he'll keep a small profit and give everything to you? They will get work of 1 lakh from you and give you only 5,000 in hand. They want to have maximum money in whose pocket? Your pocket or their pocket? And what does the employee think? Anyway, this boss is exploitative boss. When boss is away, I will do some of my... Many boys actually start their own computer company in the evening. And some part of the work they do in the company itself. I can use company's resources to do my work and then I can make money outside when I go. Like that they plan. So who is exploiting whom? Both are exploiting. You will see that. That's material world. So material world becomes very painful because the jivas have a tendency for... I told you a fish eats, smaller fish eat by bigger fish by bigger fish. And that is there in human society also. People try to exploit one another. So this tendency of enjoying spirit at the cost of others is the cause of the suffering in this world. You will see that, like a tiger eats a deer. A frog eats a fly. Or a snake eats a frog. In human society also, people exploit one another. Like sometimes in villages, if a farmer is very strong, he will extend his land a little bit to the other farmers. And that farmer will say, hey, see, this part is mine. Please give me back. He'll say, joke na karo. Correct, no? Hamara political support. Now, MLA ko phone karunga. You will say, then that fellow is fearful. He knows I am weak. Therefore, he is dominating. The weaker ones are dominated by stronger ones in the material world. That's the way the world is. Like Kauravas thought that now we have been ruling. So the Pandavas are now weak. So taking advantage of their weakness, what we can do? Dominate them and destroy them. They were thinking like that. That's material world. You can see that. So actually, Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur, who is the guru of our Srila Prabhupada, he said, this material world is not for a gentleman. He said, a gentleman means you have to go back to Godhead, he said. Why you have to go back to Godhead? Because in Godhead, nobody will do this. In the spiritual world, the situation is just the opposite. Like you see Ram and Bharat, they are meeting in the forest. Did Bharat say to Ram that, I want to be the king, you allowed me to be king, thank you. Did he say that? What did he tell Ram? You become the king. And what did Ram tell Bharat? Did he agree to come back and become king? What he said? Yeah. It is father's order that I should be in forest 14 years. Till then, who should be the king? Have you ever seen two brothers saying, you be the king, you be the king? That means, is it a competition or not? It's a competition, but what kind of competition? Spiritual competition. It's a loving competition, it is. So, you will see that, like I heard our Dwarkadish Prabhu and Vishakha Mataji, when they came to Pune, they were telling a nice example. They said early days when they went to some yatra where they were climbing a mountain, they told the junior devotees that, hey, devotee, you are coming for the yatra first time, your luggage must be very heavy, please give us your bags. And then you somehow climb up. I think Tirupati or somewhere they were climbing. So immediately the juniors said, thank you, and they gave it to the seniors, all their bags. The seniors took their bag also and juniors' bag also. And they were climbing. And the juniors were saying thank you to them, and at last they climbed. They were very happy that we have climbed the hill at last. Then 2 years later, when they went for yatra, again they asked for the bags. Now they were climbing another hill like our Ahobilam hill or something. So the juniors were now feeling shy to give the bag. They said, no, we will not give. And last time somehow we foolishly gave. Now we will not give, they said. And 2-3 years later, again they were going for another yatra. They were climbing up a hill, some other place. There the seniors were asking juniors, please give your bags. Juniors said, no, you give your bags. There were old Matajis, there were old Prabhujis. They took their bags on their shoulder and they carried both. Now what is the difference you are observing year after year? Anybody can tell me? You can raise your hand, anybody? What did you understand? The differences between the three behaviors I told you. You understood the example? Why there is a difference in behavior and what did you infer from this behavior? Yeah. Anybody? You have answered. I want others to answer. Therefore, I ask for a raise of hand. I want to see. See, nobody has raised hand. That means the example is not understood well. See, in the first year, the junior young devotees gave their bags to seniors. 2 years later, they refused to give. And 2 years later, Yatra, they took the senior's bag on their shoulder and said, we will carry it. So what is the difference? Why this difference in behavior came in the junior devotees? That's one question. What did you infer from it? Yes. Give the mic to him. Yeah. Yeah. You also answered, I think, right? They both have answered. I want a new devotee who hasn't answered yet. Who is you should only give to younger ones, you should give. Who are the younger ones? They are all younger devotees? Okay.
First one is exploitative mentality because they are giving back so that they will carry. Second one is respect, so they are not giving back.
Yes.
Third one is love. They are taking their back.
Okay. You all understand the example? What you say? Correct, no? So, which is like material world, which is like spiritual world?
First one is like material approach. They are exploiting.
Yeah.
And third one is like spiritual one.
You understand the difference. How many of you understood this? You all understand it? Okay. How many of you need more explanation for this? It's not very clear to you. Yeah. You want to know more about it. You want to elaborate more? You will. Huh? Yeah. You want to explain that? Yeah. Actually, the middle one is a stage of apakwa. Like when they are asking you to give, you don't give, but at least you know that it is not good to take service from older devotees because they are already old. They are struggling with their own bags. How can I give my bag to others? Correct, no? See, for example, if you are staying in a room like this, you should try to use your own things. Don't take others' things. Correct? For example, you ask your friend, hey, can I take your bike? And then he says, okay, you take it. You go and you puncture it and keep it back silently. And then you go to the market by bus evening. Next day morning, poor fellow, he has to go to college. He's finding the bike is puncture. He's calling you and asking me, hey, puncture okay? He said, yeah, it was puncture as it became puncture. I thought you will repair it yourself. That means he's very uncourteous. Correct, no? So do you agree he's an exploitative fellow? Because first of all, he's seeking favor from him. So you should, in case it becomes puncture, what you should do? You should repair and give it. So that material world is like, the material world means you exploit and you don't care about others. Correct, no? And spiritual platform means what? You don't seek any favor from anybody. Rather, you give favors to them. Correct, no? You are helpful to them like that. And sometimes in case you need to seek a favor, you will ask them, Prabhu, are you going to use your bike to go somewhere? In case you are going somewhere, I will not take it. But it is going to be like idling here, and then with your permission, I can take it. And he says, no, Prabhuji, today I am studying for the exam tomorrow. I'm not going out anywhere. You can take my bike. And in case you go, it gets punctured, you repair it. And then you tell him, Prabhuji, on the way, it got punctured, I repaired it now. Bike is all right, here is the key. Correct now? So you will see that as you go from material to spiritual, material means you act instinctively, like animal. You just think that, mera kaam ho gaya, abhi puncture hua, nahi hua kya, I don't care. Because my work is over. If it's puncture, that is his problem. Whose bike? It is his bike only. Correct? No? This is very, very material mentality. A spiritual means you should think, although it is his bike, he he courteously gave the bike to me. Therefore, I could do my work. I should be grateful to him by repairing the puncture. That is spiritual outlook. You understand, no? So all of you devotees here, you are going from material outlook gradually to spiritual outlook. Spiritual world means everybody respects everybody else. Everybody considers others to be superior. Everybody considers, I am a servant of others. Everybody else is master. And this kind of mood is pervading in the spiritual world. So in human body, we have to come to that platform in this world. Then you don't come back to this. See, you will go to that world, the mentality of which is matching with your mindset. You understand, no? See, you will go there where your mindset is matching. Very simple thing I'll tell you. For example, if there is a gutter water stagnated, immediately thousands of mosquitoes will come there. because that matches with their expectation. Correct, no? It's a dirty thing. Correct, no? You'll see like that, yeah. In the same manner, if they open a liquor shop, all the drunkard fellows will line up there to buy there, correct, no? Similarly, open a center like this with beautiful lordships and then morning program, kirtan, pravachan. Then boys who have a spiritual mindset, they will come here because they want to improve themselves. They want to grow out of their limitations. So wherever you create an ambience, that ambience attracts people who are of that mindset. Birds of the same feather. In the sky, if you see, all parrots fly together. You've seen that? All the cuckoos fly together. All the eagles will be soaring high in the sky together. You will see that. And dogs also, purpose is, sometimes the dogs actually quarrel with one another, but they ultimately stay together only. Not that the dog makes friendship with the cat and goes and lives with the cats. Have you ever seen that? Or you don't find the rats are now making friends with other dogs. No. Rats will live with rats, dogs with dogs, humans with humans. You've seen that? Huh? So birds are the same for the flock together. So we want to become a part of that family, which is the spiritual family. So by staying here, you are improving your consciousness. You are able to see that? Huh? Human form of life is for this purpose. You have to understand, see, material consciousness means I think I am the center. Whole world is evolving around me. All the people are meant for my enjoyment and they should be at my beck and call. That's what modern man is thinking. Huh? So that's a very foolish idea. Man is thinking, goats are for me to eat. Cows are for me to eat. Chicken is for me to eat. I'll be in the middle and I'll eat everything. Like that he's thinking. And everybody should give their things to me, and who will enjoy? I will enjoy. That's modern man's idea. But our Vedic idea is what? Krishna is in the center. Like you see, we put the Lord in the center. And we dance for his pleasure. We bow down to him. We offer him bhoga first and then we take prasad. We put him in the center. So the more you put him in the center of your life and river, like temples we do pradakshina means what? You are my center. I go around you. Not that I am center, everybody should go around me. No. So therefore that mindset, this is the meaning of human life. Human life means you can develop this kind of divine consciousness. And once you develop that, you are actually, your mind is preparing to return back home. Back to back. That's a human form of life. You can do that only in human body. You cannot do it in any other body. Other bodies are having that limitation, as I told you. They are like a car or a scooter in a runway. They cannot fly. But you can fly up. When you're going like this, you can fly up. You can take off. And this center is for helping you take off. This is like a helipad. Helipad is for landing, taking off. You can do that. So even those having chartered planes, they have to go to airport. You know that? Do you think you chartered plane you can keep in your house behind like a car? You don't keep it. You have to go there. So similarly, Sattva is actually like the airport where you go that Sattva lifestyle. Then you can go to Vishuddha Sattva. In human body, you can take off. And even before you go to Vishuddha Sattva, even in Sattva, you feel very happy. As you are told in the beginning of the talk today, you felt very happy coming here. Taking pure prasadam and living with the morning, you see the devotee, they all bow down to each other. They call one another as Prabhu. And we sing devotional songs and we live a very pure lifestyle. We should have a liking for it. And you should be confident that this is actually improving you, bringing about a change of heart in you. Chanakya says, materially you cannot change a person. But Sanatana Goswami says, spiritually you can change a person. So the spiritual factor is the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. So do this regularly, daily with attentive heart, attentive ear and an open heart and in a prayerful mood. Then the chanting of the holy name is purifying you. Day by day by day by day, you become a better. And people will wonder how this fellow was and how he has become. How much change has come in him. That's what people wondered about Mrugari. They couldn't believe their eyes. So we all can become transformed people. I have to rush for another program. I'll come another time. I'll come. Night I'm coming here only. Morning? We have one more class here. Thank you. Shilpa Bharati. Is it? Okay, one quick question. One question we can take. Or we can quickly, people can recapitulate what they heard. Mike should go to different devotees. I want to hear from at least a dozen devotees I want to hear. Then only I'll be confident that they have understood. And you should go in the same order in which I spoke from the beginning. How did I begin the class today? Those who came late will also get a revision of. They will also get revision.
Instinct. Animal nature is go with instinct, but human nature should think before we do what we want.
Okay, that was the point I derived eventually. But prior to that instinct point, I said something more in the beginning of the class. Anybody can say? Yeah. How did you begin the class? Anybody? Yeah.
Like aeroplane and autos, like
Yeah.
like that only.
Human body is like aeroplane. Animal body is like a
Autos.
animal or it's like animal or like a snake or something like that. They can't fly. I said. So that's how I began the class. So then I asked all of you, what is the difference between animal and a human? Then what all came up? Anybody remembers? Yes, please give it there. Yes. Okay. And then in order to substantiate that point, what all I said after that? Correct. Yes. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Anybody else want to add to that? Any other point in that discussion about instinctive and look before you leap? About that, more discussions happened. I gave many examples also. I gave
Ethics and
morals and ethics. We discussed about that. Yeah, correct. What examples come to your mind? Some examples I gave. See, when you're recapitulating, you should think of examples first, then come to concept. And when you're giving a lecture, you should speak the concept first and then give examples. Why should we recapitulate example first? Anybody can say? Why? Huh? Yeah, you can picturize. Examples are pictorial. You can remember. Concepts are difficult, vague. So you go from examples to concept. What examples I gave? And also when you talk to others, if you give example, they will immediately catch what you are saying. Correct, no? They will understand. Yes. Yes, I compared Duryodhana and Yudhishthira. What do you remember comparison you can give to him? Yeah. No, Mike?
How is didn't think ethically, but and Pandavas think ethically.
Yeah, actually, this is also, what you're saying is correct. But I said these things pictorially giving some explanation to this. Correct, no? Like you used to saying, we are fighting for a kingdom like a pack of dogs fighting for a piece of flesh. Like that Yudhishthira Maharaj said. And what Duryodhana said, I will wipe out the Pandavas and rule unrivaled kingdom all over the world. That's my goal. And weak as the Pandavas are coming from the forest, and I have been the ruling party for so long, so I will win and they will lose. This is what he thought. So actually my request to all of you, when you're talking to your friends also, you talk examples like this one which you are hearing. Because then they will understand it what you are saying. If you say, you used to act ethically, Duryodhana didn't act ethically, that ethical word cannot be comprehended by the brain. They can't understand what is this ethical. They don't know the word also sometimes. Correct, no? You should speak it pictorial, okay? Yeah.
Family relationships and animals don't have that relationship.
What example I gave?
Pig.
Pig. What does the pig do, I said?
Pig do sexual.
Yeah, pig eats nasty things like stool. And it has sex with anybody, daughter, sister, brother, mother, anybody. He doesn't care which pig is who. When he gets the instinct for sex, he goes and attacks anybody. But in human life, you have respect for your mother, sister and daughter. And there is a proper system of marriage. You will not catch anybody's hand other than your wife. You treat every other woman as a mother. Matravat Paradhareshu. This is a moral behavior. And the moral behavior is possible in which body? Human body, not an animal body. Correct, no? So we said about moral, we said about ethical. These are all possible only in human life, not in animal life. Thank you. What else we went ahead after that? Anybody remembers after that? After making these essential differences I told you. Similarly, spiritual also. The Kurukshetra, I was telling one very important point. Why Pandavas ethically felt that we better go back to forest. They were not willing to fight. But then why did they fight? Were they greedy for the kingdom? Was it Rajasukala? Why did they fight? Behind it, give the mic to him. Yeah. Yes, mic can be nearby. Mic you can put it. Yeah. Yes. You can tell in Telugu also. I understand Telugu. I can tell in Telugu. Why Krishna gave the motivation to fight? What was Krishna's reason?
To say telling the people that Dharma will always reach.
So Dharma should be established. It's a Dharma Yuddha. Correct, no? Yada yada hi dharmasya. He says, no? Glanir bhavati bharata abhyutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam sajamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. He says, I come for dharma samsthapanarthaya. So therefore, Lord Krishna ordered them, then they followed. For your sake, we will fight. But we are not after king now. It's very, very. So there is moral, ethical, spiritual. It's called parodharma. So there is moral and ethical are like dharmic. But parodharma is even beyond dharmic also. Sarva dharman. They gave up all of the dharmas and followed Krishna's dharma. They followed. Thank you. So these things we discussed about that. After that, where we went after this? What the next topic we discussed after this? I told about Shankaracharya, I told. 3 things Shankara said is very rare, I said. What is it? What are the 3 things he said are very rare? Manushyatva. Getting a human body is rare, which you all have already got. Your human body. What second thing he said is very rare? Mumukshutva means thirst for liberation. Yeah. And then the third? Having a guru who can escort us. That's correct. These are 3 things he said. Then I asked a very challenging question, which many of them were put to thinking. I said that, why should we try to get liberated? Correct, no? Why not just live like anybody else? Quote unquote normal, I was telling, no? Yeah? Yes, you give the mic to him. You have answered, I think. Some others should be given chance also. Others? Why should we get liberated from this world? What is the purpose? Why can't just live like anybody else? Why should we come to these classes? Why should we chant Hare Krishna? Why should we read Bhagavad Gita? All these things. What is the need? Your friends will ask you or not? Yes. Then how will you answer them? Who hasn't answered? Anybody would like to answer? Yeah, please give it in.
To overcome the miseries.
To overcome suffering. So then I gave some examples of Achyuta and Chuta. What examples I gave for that? For one who is a follower of state laws is more free. But one who is following jail laws is more suffering inside the jail. But ultimately both have to follow. But one follows the state law, he is more free, having freedom. It's like a bird flying in the sky, another bird in the cage. Correct, no? So those who have fallen into this world, they are like a bird in the cage. Those who go back to Godhead, they are like a bird in the sky. Correct, no? It's a state of freedom. So how many of you like freedom? You like freedom or not? Correct, no? Will a bird be happy inside the cage? No. Right now we are all inside the cage of the human body now. We're trapped in this body. But once you become purified, you go back to the spiritual world, you have a lot of freedom there. So that is the Chuta and Achyuta I was telling. So what sufferings I asked, he told that. Birth, old age, this is death. He said that. So these are some of the sufferings we can easily. Not only that, there are 3-fold miseries also. You know that? Adhyatmika, Adhibodhika, Adhidaivika. Trishul of Durga. So in this world, Durga is carrying Trishul and telling, get out, she's telling. There Radharani, see, she's having she's having a lotus. Welcome. See, if you're showing a bouquet, you are welcoming. If you're showing a Trishul, get out. Correct. So who is saying get out? Who is saying welcome? So welcome is in which world? Material world or spiritual world? Yeah. So the police people will want you to get out of the jail or come to the jail. Will they be happy? I'm asking police people. Police people, they don't like to. Of course, if you go in the jail, they'll handcuff you and beat you up. They'll take a belt and beat you. They're not happy. But they want, thieves to become sajjan. Gentleman and then get out of the jail. Correct? No? So Durga also wants us to become gentleman and get out of the jail. And spiritual brother is welcome for you. Come, welcome. Okay, anything else I said? We'll conclude. Any other point? I told you something very important about change of heart. What do you remember about change of heart I spoke? Anybody who hasn't spoken yet? Only those who haven't spoken should speak now. They should get a chance. Anything you remember? Rahul, you want to recollect anything? Give the mic to him. Yes.
His change of heart, and people were shocked at how he could change.
Yes, correct. So that was long before. After that, was there any more change, or it was the only change? Anybody else changed? I told many examples of people who had a change of heart. Anybody else remembers any other example of somebody who had a change of heart? Who? He has answered many questions. Those who haven't answered should answer. Those who haven't answered, they should be given chance to answer. Actually, if they are not giving answer, probably English is a little difficult for them. You can also mix some Telugu and speak when you come here. It will be more easy for them. They may be catching. Actually, English is also good for you to learn. When you keep speaking a little bit, you will learn it. I gave many examples. I gave a change of heart. Nagari was one example I gave. Prabhupada didn't change anybody. You know? Prabhupada changed somebody or not? You give the mic to him, we'll ask. You know, Srila Prabhupada changed somebody. Somebody had, you know, Prabhupada changed somebody or he couldn't change anybody. He went to America and came back. Who? Hippies. Give him an applause. Exactly, he said. Very good. He said that. Very nice. Like the Narada changed Mrigari, he said. One more person he changed Narada Muni. Anybody knows? Valmiki, correct. He changed Valmiki also, correct. Like that, he gave many examples. So, who says a person cannot change and who says a person can change? Who knows? And who says? So, how will you reconcile these 2 points? Who can do reconciling? Anybody? Reconciling means, yeah. Materially, people cannot be changed. They are like a dog's tail. Spiritually, they can be changed. And what is a spiritual element that changes people's hearts? Holy name. Correct, no? That's what we said, yeah. So in this way, we discuss about Chanakya, what he says, and Santakusan, what he says. So spiritually, you will see hard-hearted people become very soft-hearted. There was one time in one city abroad, where devotees used to go on Harinam Sankirtan, you know. One very big fellow, bodybuilder, used to come from his shop. He would come outside and he would come fastly to the devotees and catch devotees and beat them up. Part, he would slap them, punch them. He would tell them, why are you making this sound, this Harinam Sankirtan, like that. So many times when devotees would see him coming, they would run away. They would run very fast. Few will get caught by him. But one intelligent devotee understood that I am very slow in running away. I can't run. So he carried cookie packets. In abroad, they used to make 2 cookies into one packet. So when it come to beat, he would push cookie into his hands. And that fellow collected 2 here and 2 packets here. By the time he would be watching it, this devotee would run away. So later on, this fellow ate cookies 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. Then he stopped beating the devotees and he would come and demand cookies. Hey, cookie nikalo. Then he ate. Later on, you can't believe the true story. I heard that he himself became a devotee later. He was beating up devotees. Now he became devotee himself by eating cookies regularly. Then he started wearing tilak and he fell at the feet of devotees. He cried. I'm very sorry. I bet so many of you. You all beat me up. Nobody was ready to beat him that time. So I am telling you, in this way, people have a change of heart by chanting the holy name. Anything else I said apart from all this? Concluding point. Anything else I said? Oh, one more thing I said. Whatever situation you are, according to your mindset, you will go to that place. Further, I gave many examples. Anybody remembers? I gave. No. Don't tell the hands. Only raise the hand. I will ask the question. According to your mindset, you are going to go to that place. Whatever type of mindset you develop. Yes. Mosquitoes will come to the gutter. Where stagnated water is there. That's what they like very much. Yes. the spiritual minded boys come. Very good. That's true. Exactly. Like birds of the same feather flock together. What birds have you seen in the sky? They fly with their own jati only. Like parrots fly with parrots. Yeah, you will see that. Swans live with swans. Pigeons live with pigeons. You will see that. Yes. Dogs live with dogs. Similarly, devotees live with devotees. Correct? No? Wherever there are devotees, they like to go there. They would like to live. You can't live in a room where boys are drinking, smoking. It's like water and fire together. It will be difficult to live there. Therefore, in the same manner I was telling you, if you are having a spiritual consciousness, you are preparing for going back to Godhead. Yeah. That's what this center is for, that purpose. It will prepare you for going back home, back to Godhead. Never to return again to this world. And then I told how the spiritual world is totally different. The material world, what people do, spiritual world, what they do. And one last point, who can remember? What do they do in spiritual material world? They serve. Anything else you remember? Anybody? Ram and Bharat. You can see that spiritual relationship. They both wanted each other to become the king. They didn't want to exploit. Unlike Duryodhana, correct? No? Yeah. Then I gave an example in the material world how everybody is exploiting one another. What example I gave? One sister took brother to court. No, isn't it? Boss and employee example we gave. What other example we gave? Which one? Mosquito. Yeah. The bag example. When they went for yatra and climbing the hill. So, in the third yatra, they became very evolved in spiritual consciousness. Now they didn't want to take service, rather they wanted to give service. They wanted to, you give your bag, we will carry it, they said. So that means our consciousness can evolve from lower to higher to higher. Because the more it becomes higher and higher, you are already flying up back home, back to Godhead. As your consciousness is going higher and higher. Shri Prabhupada ki, Bhakta Vrinda ki.